What if Scottish DNA isn't Celtic at all? For years, we believed the Scottish genome was mostly Celtic, maybe a dash of Viking for dramatic flair. The story seems settled. Scotland's people descended from ancient Celtic tribes who migrated from continental Europe, preserved their culture through centuries of isolation, and resisted Roman and Viking invasions. Then scientists extracted DNA from bones buried beneath peat bogs and rocky cairns across Scotland, and what they found completely shatters this comfortable narrative. Hidden inside these ancient remains are dark-skinned Mesolithic hunter-gatherers, Bronze Age outsiders who replaced 90% of the male population, tribal warriors called Picts, who supposedly vanished, and genetic echoes from the Arctic steppe that have survived untouched in remote islands for over 10,000 years. Long before clans or Celtic myths, Scotland was a frozen wasteland. Roughly 12,000 years ago, thick glaciers covered most of the land. But as the ice retreated, small bands of hunter-gatherers drifted northward from continental Europe, following herds and fish. These pioneers weren't Celtic. Genetic reconstructions from Mesolithic remains suggest they had dark skin, blue eyes, and dark curly hair, common across Western Europe around 8000 BC. They lived in scattered family groups along rivers and coasts, fishing, hunting red deer, and crafting flint tools. Archaeological sites like Cremond and Oranze revealed their camps, but DNA truly brought them to life. What shocked scientists wasn't just that their DNA survived, it was where it survived. Remote Highland glens and Hebridean islands still carry traces of these ancient lineages. In these geographically isolated regions, the earliest settlers' genes weren't wiped out. They were preserved like fossils in blood. Scotland's rugged terrain created natural gene vaults, where small communities bred mostly within themselves for centuries. While Europe's cities saw constant invasion and mixing, some parts of Scotland stayed relatively untouched. This is why Scottish DNA, especially in the Highlands and Islands, still holds genetic fingerprints from over 10,000 years ago. But roughly 4,500 years ago, a seismic shift rippled through prehistoric Scotland. People carrying distinctive bell-shaped pottery arrived from Central Europe, regions we now call the Netherlands, northern France, and Germany. They brought metal tools, new farming techniques, and most importantly, a very different genetic profile. Within just a few centuries, these Beaker people didn't just influence culture, they overwrote much of the gene pool. Genetic studies published in Nature in 2018 show they replaced up to 90% of the male lineage in Britain, including Scotland. The bloodlines of many Mesolithic men simply ended while Beaker DNA surged. But it wasn't genocide. It was slow, uneven blending through intermarriage and cultural adoption. And in isolated places like the Highlands and Hebrides, traces of older genes still managed to survive. Scotland became a land of dual inheritance, part Ice Age survivor, part continental newcomer. With the Beakers came the Bronze Age and organized tribal life. From this evolutionary cauldron, something new emerged in the north. They carved strange symbols into stone, terrified Roman soldiers, and fought without leaving written records. They were called the Picts. The Romans called them the Picti, the painted ones. Fierce, untamed, impossible to conquer. These northern warriors left behind enigmatic carvings and warrior graves, but seemed to vanish without a trace by the 9th century. Historians wondered, who were they really, and where did they go? Now, DNA is filling in the blanks. Recent studies from ancient burial sites at Fortingall in the Highlands and Lunden Links in Fife show that the Picts weren't mysterious invaders. Their genetic signatures match Iron Age populations that had already lived in Scotland for centuries. They were locals, descendants of people who mixed Mesolithic and Beaker blood. The Picts didn't vanish. They simply merged. As Gaelic culture rose in the West, the Picts slowly adopted its language, customs, and names. They were absorbed, but not erased. Modern Highland Scots still carry traces of this lineage. Their DNA isn't just Scottish, it's Pictish. Analysis of Y-chromosome haplogroups shows that men in Caithness, Sutherland, and Ross carry genetic markers consistent with ancient Pictish populations. They didn't disappear from history, they became history. But while the Picts held firm in the north, the Romans reached Scotland's fringes by the 1st century AD. They called it Caledonia and never truly conquered it. Instead, they built forts and watchtowers. Hadrian's Wall marked the limit of Roman Britain. The Roman legions weren't just Italian. Soldiers came from across the empire: Spain, Syria, North Africa. They were stationed in Britain's borderlands for years. Some formed relationships with local women. While their presence was brief, traces of their Mediterranean and Middle Eastern ancestry still linger in parts of southern Scotland. Certain family lines in the lowlands show hints of foreign mitochondrial and Y-DNA markers that could only have come from these far-flung Roman recruits. Even without permanent conquest, the Roman Empire injected threads of global ancestry into the Scottish genome. Once Rome retreated, new seafarers arrived. In the late 8th century, Viking longships shattered the silence of Scotland's northern coasts. These weren't just raiders, they were settlers. Over the next 2 centuries, Norsemen left a permanent genetic stamp on the Scottish archipelago. The Orkney and Shetland islands became Viking strongholds. The Norse colonized, taking local wives, farming the land, and establishing Norse law. Modern genetic testing reveals that up to 60% of male Y-DNA lines in Orkney today are of Norse origin, a higher percentage than even parts of Norway itself. This shows how dominant Viking ancestry became. Even beyond the islands, Viking influence reached the Hebrides and mainland Scotland's coastal regions. Later, the Normans, descendants of Vikings who settled in France, entered Scotland through marriage and royal favor, mixing Norse, Breton, and Frankish bloodlines into the southern aristocracy. Names like Bruce, Stuart, and Sinclair, so central to Scottish identity, carry genetic footprints from far beyond the Highlands. For centuries, the Scottish clan system was seen as living genealogy. Names like MacDonald, MacLeod, and Campbell echoed through history, tied to ancient ancestors. But modern DNA analysis revealed something surprising. Many clans weren't biological families at all, but social networks. In major clans like the MacDonalds, dozens of unrelated male lines share the same surname. People adopted clan names for protection or land access rather than shared ancestry. By contrast, clans like the Campbells show tighter genetic patterns, with most men sharing a common Y-chromosome, suggesting a true paternal founder. Being part of a clan was often about belonging, not biology. Even within this complexity, Scotland's geography kept shaping its gene pool. The Highlands and Islands acted like genetic time capsules. Communities on islands like Islay and Lewis retain DNA markers that appear nowhere else, not even in mainland Scotland. This regional uniqueness is rare in Europe. Centuries of migration usually mix populations thoroughly, but in Scotland, mountains, lochs, and seas isolated people just enough to preserve genetic fragments from the Mesolithic, Bronze Age, and Norse era, all in one body. So, what makes Scottish DNA so strange? It's not Celtic at all, at least not in the way we imagined. It's a tapestry of dark-skinned Mesolithic foragers, Bronze Age Beaker invaders who replaced 90% of the male population, Pictish warriors who never disappeared but simply changed their language, Roman soldiers from Syria and North Africa, Viking colonizers who dominated the northern islands, and Norman nobles who reshaped the clan system. The Celtic identity we associate with Scotland is largely linguistic and cultural, not genetic. The genes tell a far older, far stranger story. One of survival in isolated glens and islands where ancient bloodlines from 10,000 years ago still persist. One of dramatic population replacements that rewrote the genome in centuries. One of absorption rather than extinction. Scotland's DNA isn't a clean thread. It's a genetic palimpsest, written and rewritten by ice, invasion, and isolation. And in its remotest corners, it still holds secrets that challenge everything we thought we knew about who the Scots really are. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy how genetics is rewriting what we thought we knew about Scottish ancestry, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next discovery. This is Hidden Strata,